The week after we signed this paperwork, we were so excited to meet my in-laws, and we met them in a family-friendly restaurant, a place we'd love to go to. They had great nachos. We got there ahead of time, and we laid out all the materials on the table, a map of where we were going to move to, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law walk in. I didn't even get 5 minutes worth of conversation out, and my father-in-law stands up, and he uses every word that I won't repeat because I never heard him say half these words. He takes that finger of his, and he points it at us, and he says, "You're going to fail. I can't believe you're doing this. You're idiots, and you'll be back in 6 months." Okay? He kept talking, but I don't really remember what he said because my wife and I left the restaurant. We got in the car, and my wife looks at me and she says, I'll never forget this, she says, "I guess we're on our own." So for the next month, I drove both of our vehicles 3,250 miles to Portland, Oregon. We didn't know a single soul in Portland. We knew no one, had no family, no relatives, nobody. And it was the hardest thing to leave because we had ties here, we had family here, we had a lot here. But I didn't have a choice. I had to do something. I was reaching my mid-30s. I had to make the next move the right move. And I couldn't believe my wife was on board. I mean, she probably was more excited than I was because I knew nothing about the publishing industry, nothing. I came from the retail industry. I knew how to buy, pharmaceuticals, soap, peanuts, whatever. And my wife was a pediatric nurse. She had worked at Tampa General, Blake, and Sarasota Memorial. So the real eye-opener was 30 days after I drove both of our vehicles, and the 45-foot moving truck shows up. And I'm looking at that, I said, we're screwed if this doesn't work, because I can't afford to move back. In the meantime, I probably didn't talk to my father-in-law for the next 6 months, and if I did, I don't remember a conversation, because I just didn't want to deal with it. And later on, when I was writing this book, I asked my mother-in-law, I tried to ask them try to bring up the conversation. Of course, my father-in-law said, "Well, I did that to motivate you." And my mother-in-law says, "I was mortified." Is that the exact words? So, let's bring it back. The first 2 years we were in Portland, Oregon, it was like brutal. We didn't know anyone. We're struggling just to make ends meet. Any dime we're making, we're reinvesting back in our business. And my wife was working part-time as a registered nurse just to maintain her license. And then one day, if any of you have ever owned a business before, you know what it takes to start a business and make it successful. And one day, after working, 14 hours a day, I worked 7 days a week for the first 2 years, literally. I said to my wife, if we work together, we really could accomplish the goals and why we moved to do what we did, this crazy business we moved to open up. Within 5 years, we became the largest franchise out of 480 markets throughout North America. My wife gave up her nursing license, and for the last 27 years, we've worked together in business. What is this book about? This book, I'll tell you in simple terms, it covers 3 segments. I wish when I started a business, it told me everything not to do. It told me the do's and don'ts of starting a business. And I have a chapter of everything not to do when you start a business, and a chapter of what to do to run a sustainable business. After about, I don't know, over 100 people asked us, I don't know how the heck you work with your wife every day. You go to bed with her, you wake up with her, you're with her all day. How the heck can you do it? Well, it's not easy. But when we made the decision to work together, we kind of outlined 5 things that we felt were important in working together as a married couple.